Hi, I'm Jenna and I make bath and body products from my dedicated studio here in Hertfordshire, UK. I've been running small businesses for over 20 years and I share my day-to-day product making, running my business, and I also help others launch their own unique products too. If that's your thing, stick around, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you catch my latest episodes. If you want all my formulations, exclusive content and to chat with me, head on over to Patreon, link in the description below. On my website Reviga, you'll find my own range of cosmetic bath and body products along with digital products and workshops to help you with your own business. I also offer some services too. And with that, let's get on with today's video. It's now Wednesday. I'm launching in 2 days, which is quite exciting. So I'm just doing like the finishing touches on everything at the moment. So I had a bit of a thing with the bath bombs. So if you remember my last video, I was mentioning that the bands didn't quite like stick together. It was something to do with the material. But then after that, my printer decided that it just didn't want to print on cardboard. So we have pivoted and this is what we've got. Basically, I'm printing on some gold labels that I already had and then just putting them across the bath bomb. It seems to work. It stays within the brand theme. The thing with bath bombs is because they're a low cost item, you don't really want to be spending out too much on labels because obviously that affects your margin and people are just going to rip it off and chuck the thing in their bath anyway, so there's not really much point in spending that money. So I think they look quite nice now, so I'm happy with that. Next we need to just check we've got all the samples. So I've made up all of these samples for giving away when I do my launch. So the first orders that come through, so until I run out of samples, essentially will get one or more samples depending on what they buy. Oh, order. I haven't launched yet. What are you doing, guys? So now what I'm going to work on is these. Now, if I show you the one I've already done, I'm just shrink banding the body scrubs because basically, depending on temperature changes, oh, it's all going on today. Depending on temperature changes, you can get a little bit of sort of oil on top, and obviously I don't want that to leak out in transit. So we're just making sure that that's nicely banded, and we're going to do that now. The reason that I do this is because if we look at the coconut vanilla, so I'll open this one up and I don't know if you can see in there is a slight bit of oil, but because it is cooled down now, it's sort of not as pooling, so it's actually safe to send now. But I didn't seal these initially because I wanted to check on that before I sealed them to make sure that it wasn't pooling too much. It's just temperature fluctuations. When you use a lot of natural ingredients, they can react, and they can react at different speeds to different temperatures and things, but it's all fine. And I don't know if you can see this here, but the vanilla sugar, not vanilla sugar, coconut vanilla. So this, as you'll see on my website when I launch and you've seen on my things, is white. But because it contains a lot of vanillin, which is the thing that gives the vanilla scent, it can discolour over time despite sort of adding things to counter that. So the coconut vanilla now looks a little pink. It's completely fine, it doesn't affect the efficacy, and it's a total normal thing. You'll find it if you make cold processed soap, you'll be very used to vanillin discolouring stuff. It does discolour other products sometimes as well, and it seems to want to do it with this one, but actually it's made it really nice pink colour. I don't really put pink and coconut together, but I'm quite liking it. So if you buy this and you see white on the website, the imagery on the website is from when I just made it, and it will probably be pink when you receive it, but don't worry, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just green. So now that we've shrink wrapped all of them, the last thing to do is to put the batch number on. Now, I do have a Print Peak handheld inkjet printer, which I could use if I'd got used to lining it up correctly and I'd done that before I stuck the labels on. It is a bit hard to do it on a curved surface. So what I'm going to do is I have ordered, which should arrive at some point today, some ink pens, but they're permanent and they're waterproof. They're basically art pens, so if you're outlining watercolors and stuff, so it won't run, because obviously this is something that's going to be used in the shower. And then I will hand write the batch number on there. Now you could use another sticker, you could print it on a waterproof label and then stick that on there as well. The reason I leave that is because I have my labels printed elsewhere, and to get a new lot every single time I had a batch number would just be totally impractical. So what I do is just leave the space and then I fill that in later as and when, so that these labels are just fine for any batch that I make. So these I just got off Amazon, and I need to find the right kind of size, but they're just sort of fine liners. So I'll just check this one works. So this works. We're going to just get the batch number off my batch sheet and then make sure that we label all of the scrubs with the right batch number. Now I kept it fairly simple with these because they came from essentially the same batch. So they all need the same batch number, which is Now that's not very neat because I'm doing it on camera, but essentially once I'm off camera I'll write them slightly neater. I'm going to get to batch numbering all of these, and I'll see you again in a minute. So it turns out that my handwriting doesn't get better when I go closer to it. So we're just going to keep going, and I think for next time I will invest in a waterproof label maker, maybe one of those Dymo things, so that I can stick something over it. I just need to make sure that I get something that's quite small, so I'll look into that. Some of you might be saying use the thermal label printer, and I could, but the trouble is it's not completely waterproof, and also that fades after a while because the paper will sort of react to heat and moisture and go black, so that wouldn't be suitable. So there we have it. And what I will say is the Print Peak printer, which I'll insert a clip of here that I mentioned earlier, that could also take white ink. Now if you get the white ink cartridge for it, I could print across there because there's a flat surface. It is an inkjet, but it is waterproof, supposedly. I'll have to do some testing with it, but if I get that, I'll let you know. But otherwise, there we go. They are all finished, ready for sale. So I'm going to stick them back on the shelf and we're going to chat about CPSRs. There you go, different angle for you. Welcome to this corner of my room. Desk, printer. So this isn't a particularly interesting video in terms of me doing things today because launching, and by the time you see this it will be 1 hour till launch or thereabouts. So make sure you go to the link below and grab yourself all of the goodies that I have been making that you want. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the CPSR thing I mentioned just before we end this vlog for this week, and next week I'll get back to making stuff and a few more formulas and stuff. What I've done is partner with an assessor that allows me to write my own CPSRs, and I can then work with them to get them assessed. This is costing me a fair bit, or will do, so I need to gauge interest from you guys. So what I'm going to do, or what I plan to do, is I've written some formulations. Now these are my own formulations that you've seen before, that are tried and tested, I know work because I've been doing stability on them for at least 2 years now, if not longer. I'm very, very happy with them. And what I want to do is basically do those formulations as a CPSR, but give you as much flexibility as possible, so that we're not just talking you buy this flexi CPSR and then everyone else has the same formula. This will be so customizable that you can essentially make your own product. It will definitely definitely be yours, because I will give you within each ingredient category, you'll have now there'll be some set ingredients because I need the product to be safe and stable, so I need to not change the integrity of the product. But for a lot of the ingredients, you will be able to have lots of choices. This means that you can essentially make your own product with this formula. So it's aimed at formulators. I'm going to have a selection of pre-assessed, which will be available probably on pre-sale, and that will help me fund being able to do this the first year, and then if it's popular, obviously we'll continue. I will offer custom CPSRs, but this will be something that I do later once I've funded the first year. So if you are interested in really flexible CPSRs at really good prices with really fast turnaround, then please comment below the type of things you would like to see, the type of product. They'll need to be anhydrous to start with. I can't do water-based products initially because I need to go through challenge testing and everything, so that'll be once I'm set up. But initially, any anhydrous formulations, so body scrubs, body butters, the type of body scrubs and body butters, the shampoo bars, conditioner bars, deodorant, things like that, let me know. I can makeup possibly included as well, so just let me know what you want to see, and then I'll get a better idea of what to offer on pre-sale, and then hopefully we can do this and then I can help you guys out, because then I can also do packages that include all the admin as well, so you'll have literally everything done for you. So business in a box, essentially. That's all I'm going to say this week. I hope you've liked this little update. Now I suggest you get to reviga.co.uk and fill up your cart with all of the goodies you've seen me make over the last month.